Hi there, it's Nicole here today with a Boo Halloween shaker card featuring the Waffle Flower Crafts Boo stamp set and coordinating dies. And I'm going to implement a couple of other Waffle Flower stamps and dies into my design to create this little shaker. I have found that some of my favorite shakers are shaker cards where stuff is going on not only on the inside of the shaker, but the outside as well. And that's what I'm going to create here today in this little circle shaker frame. To start, I am laying out my stamps and dies to make sure everything is going to work. And what I want to do first is go ahead and lay out my LACY layers frame and flower circles inverted frame so that I know where to put the moon from the Starry Night stamp set. I want to make sure that I get it stamped on the background kind of off and up to the right of the circle frame. This is on some Bristol Smooth cardstock. I am going to go ahead and apply some powder tool and then stamp the moon with Versamark ink and heat emboss with a white embossing powder. This is going to give me a great outline for the moon. The card is all about the little bear witch riding on its broomstick with a little ghost and spider, but it's not the star of the show, but the moon really makes this background, in my opinion. I am kind of surprised I did not get this stamp set early on when it was first released. It's been out for a while, and it's become one of my favorites. I really love coloring it. I've done a couple of different cards with this stamp set, and I find I just really, really love it. And I think the little witch flying there in front of the moon is going to be super cute. Now, I did stamp some stars from Starry Night also on the background. However, I don't really think you would need them. Most of them got covered up. This is a fairly small shaker type of frame. Since it is a circle, it's not taking up the entire card front or anything like that. And I think if I had to do it again, I would not do those stars because they just get lost in the design. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up my little bit of a mess I made here. If you ever make a mess with embossing powder, Swiffer dry cloths pick that stuff up so easy. Next, I am going to take my 36 watercolor set, grab a couple colors. I've kind of got some blues and blacks and then a little bit of silver here. And I want to color in not only the moon, but the sky around it. So I'm going to start with my sky using a combination of blue and black, laying down my blue first. And really, you don't have to add too much of anything else to it if you don't want to. I really like the blue, and depending on how much water you use with the paintbrush or water brush pen like I'm using here, you'll get a different consistency of blue and really kind of an ombre effect. I want it to be really dark right around that embossed moon shape. One of the great things about stamping the moon with Versamark and heat embossing it with some embossing powder is that embossed line is going to help hold out the sky colors from the moon. And I don't have to do this really nice and neat all over the background. What I need to do is just make sure that the sky is colored from where you're going to see it through the opening in the frame. I laid down even more water to blend that out more. I'm going to grab my frame, see where else I need to add some additional color. Definitely down here in the lower left corner. And then I want to darken it up right around the moon even more. I laid down just a little bit of black there to give a little bit of interest to the background. I'm going to clean off the tip of my marker with a paper towel. And then I want to, or not marker, water brush pen, pardon me. I want to color in the moon. Now this is a silver, it's kind of a silvery white. There's not a ton of color to it, but it does have a shimmer, which I love, and it's great for the moon. You can see that some of the blue watercolor picked up with my water brush pen. That's okay. I need some texture in the moon. I need to add a little bit of color here and there. Not a lot, but I definitely want my moon to have some texture, and that can blend out pretty easily. Now I'm going to pick up the black and add some little splotches of black throughout the design. And these are really dark. Definitely kind of not what I was going for, but the more water you add to them, the more blended out they are. You can see them starting to kind of work and react. They shade, they blend out. Add more water to them if they are still not quite what you want, but it adds some fantastic texture to the moon. Really makes it fun to look at. This is my favorite way to color in a moon. I think it's really, really fun. I'm going to set that aside to dry while I stamp my little images from the Boo stamp set. So, so cute. I love this particular line, an artist for Waffle Flower. The images, there's lots of bear images for different kinds of occasions and themes. And so seeing this little mini stamp set for Halloween really tickled me. I think this bear, and it's a big size bear riding this broom, is so funny. Very, very cute, holding its little jack-o'-lantern. And I'm coloring everything in with Copic markers. I've listed the colors of Copics I'm using across the bottom of the screen. My bear was colored with E40, 43, 44, and 47. This is one of my go-to color combinations. I know it kind of goes in waves, but I get asked a lot about favorite Copic colors. You don't need them all. You really don't. I've been collecting them for years and I still don't have them all. Mostly because I don't need them. I am drawn to the same color combinations over and over. And that particular color combination for the bear is one I use a lot. So is E55 and E57, which I'm using for the broomstick. I use that a lot for trees, tree trunks, branches, even hair at times combined with E50. So those are two great basic brown color combinations, and you can always grab a couple darker colors if you want to within that color family. Cool gray colors and warm gray colors, I think they're often used as well. That's what I'm using for the bats here and the spider. I really recommend the neutrals. We're all drawn to the colorful markers, but I find I use a lot of the same color combinations within those as well. But the neutrals, I use almost all of them within the color. Like, so everything from C00 to C9, everything from warm gray 00 to warm gray 9. I find I use those a lot. This is a great color combination that I use as purple, even though it has a B in front of it, meaning it's in the blue color family. B60, 63, and 66. This is my favorite purple combination. I use it a lot. A little R00 for cheeks, or R20 depending on how dark the base is that you're coloring on. Those are some basics. Almost every color combination I used for this card is a basic that I use over and over. Here is my background. You can see how awesome it looks now that it has dried. I did die cut my frame using a LACY Layers and Flower Circles inverted die, and I'm going to keep that die cut shape. You could opt to not use that if you don't want to and just have that dotted outline, but I love that shape. I think it's really super fun. What I want to do is stamp the spider web from the Boo stamp set on the acetate. So I laid everything out in my MISTI, and then I'm going to remove my frames and stamp that spider web with cotton white Stazon ink. You want to use a Stazon ink when stamping on a piece of acetate so that it dries quick and does not smear. The cotton white is my absolute favorite. And this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video as far as when creating a shaker. I find like the most successful shakers are the ones where there is stuff going on inside the shaker, on the acetate cover, and in front of the shaker. Those are my favorite shakers because I feel like it's a complete scene that you're seeing the whole thing. It's interactive, it's cool, it's fun. You could even opt not to make it a shaker if you didn't want to. You could simply just use the acetate as a layer and maybe forego all of the foam adhesive. It's definitely going to make it easier to fit inside an envelope. I stamped the greeting there down in the bottom right corner, and then I've die cut my Boo images with the coordinating dies, and I am ready to start putting it together. So before I actually build the shaker, I am going to lay out all my layers and I'm going to start attaching things. Now, instead of the one bat shape, there's two different ones in the stamp set. I opted to repeat this particular one. I liked it a little bit better for this card. And one of my bats is going to go inside the shaker, so I've adhered it right over the moon. The other one is going to go on the front of the shaker, or the shaker window. I'm adding some detail to the eyes on all the images. And then some Wink of Stella clear glitter brush pen to some of the images as well. The easiest way I found to attach a inlay piece is to just put some adhesive right on the back. I just attached it with a nice strong glue glider adhesive. I placed my acetate right behind this frame, and then I am going to double up foam adhesive and place this all the way around my background. You can use one layer if you want to. I find that this is pretty thin foam adhesive. By doubling it up, it makes it so much easier for these shaker components to actually move and shake around. I want to frame up just the shaker window, but the whole panel really has to be dimensional. So I'm just going to put another little piece right here, and that will help with that. Go ahead and attach my little bear riding on its broomstick, tucking portions of it underneath the window. Some of it's overlaying the window. Isn't it cute? I just think it's the most darling image. And I couldn't decide if I wanted that bat inside or outside. I opt to put it on the outside, I believe. The little ghost is flying by over here. The spider is hanging down from the top of the card. And maybe I do put both of the bats inside. I'm going to take a powder tool and kind of deactivate the foam on the inside of the card. Place some little mini silver star confetti and some clear, sparkling clear star confetti inside. Remove the backing, put the back of the shaker on, and then shake it up. Now I just need a few finishing details. I'm going to attach this to a white side fold card base. And my Boo shaker card is all finished with elements on the inside, the shaker frame, and on front of the card. Thanks for joining me today for this Halloween Boo shaker card featuring waffle flower stamps and dies. The supplies I used to create this card are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more cards featuring waffle flower stamps and dies that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.